Hello folks, I'm John Myrie and welcome to the Wisconsin Northland Outdoors. On this week's show we have reports and tips for you from Jarrett McCarthy down at Hayward Bait and Bottle. And then we talk with Megan Steinmetz, who's a very avid lady musky angler who's also starting to get into fishing musky tournaments. Lots to cover on this week's show, all coming up right after these messages.
Finally, we actually have snow to get out and enjoy. With perfect timing, Hayward Power Sports and Ski-Doo have teamed up to bring you unbeatable deals on your next snowmobile. The new 2026 Ski-Doo models are here with more arriving daily. So we're blowing out remaining 2025s by offering up to $2,000 in rebates, or a 3-year warranty, or 1.99% financing for 36 months on in-stock 2025 Ski-Doo snowmobiles. Hurry to Hayward Power Sports, just 10 minutes east of Hayward on Highway 77.
The Hayward Lakes Visitors and Convention Bureau in Sawyer County, Wisconsin welcomes you to our Northwoods hometown. No matter the season, no matter the activity, you'll always be surrounded by our great outdoors. What more could you ask for in a vacation destination? Woods, waters, world-class events. Contact us for information on lodging, dining, attractions, events, trail conditions, and more. Order your free vacation guide and start planning your getaway today. Visit us at haywardlakes.com or call 1-800-724-2992.
Riding along in my automobile.
Bumping into things unexpectedly? Make your first choice for collision repair. Ernie's Auto Body, featuring the most advanced collision repair facility in Northwest Wisconsin. With a state-of-the-art spray, bake-down, draft paint booth for that better-than-new finish, laser technology for precision frame alignment, loaner cars available, computerized estimates, written guarantees, and documented unmatched customer service, the clear choice is Ernie's Auto Body, south of Hayward on Highway 63 and Nursery Road, where quality is no accident.
Lynn's Custom Meats and Catering welcomes you to stop by for their great lunch menu. And while you're there, Lynn's also has a great selection of custom-cut meats and sausages, as well as many varieties of snack sticks, jerky, fresh cheese curds, and much more. Lynn's is open Mondays through Fridays from 9 to 5:30 and 9 to 4 on Saturdays. Lynn's Custom Meats and Catering in Hayward.
Today, anglers fish longer. Today, anglers fish harder. Today, anglers rely more than ever on their electronics. It all comes down to catching more fish, and today, anglers rely on Amped Outdoors lithium batteries, period. Visit ampedoutdoors.com today to power your outdoor experience.
We're down at Hayward Bait and Bottle this week, recorded with Jarrett down here. And Jarrett, I'm getting some reports that they're pretty good ice fishing out there, but I'm also having reports that there's some slush out there.
Yep, I've been hearing the same thing. I've been seeing the same thing.
Yeah, as far as the fishing, what can you tell us? Walleye first.
Walleye, it was good for a little while there at the beginning of January, and now it seems like it's starting to slow down. Those fish seem like they're moving a little bit deeper. They're going out to those main lake structures. Guys are still getting them on tip-ups, and guys are starting to get them out jigging, but it's slowing down for sure. But that's usually what we see about midwinter this time of year.
Yeah, that's always, for whatever reason, I don't know, but if you're going to go after walleyes, concentrate early in the morning, late in the evening, and even a little bit after dark.
Yeah, those prime time windows, those low light periods, and a lot of guys, they even have success after dark, in those really dark periods, especially when it gets nice and quiet out there.
As far as ice conditions, did we build quite a bit more ice out there, or what are you hearing?
Oh, we definitely didn't lose, and it looks like most of the lakes we have around here have got anywhere from 11 to 14 inches of really solid ice, and we got some snow and some slush on top of it, but travel's been good just so long as you stay away from those slush pockets.
Yeah, and pressure ridges, you heard anything there?
Haven't seen or heard anything there yet, but usually those come when we get that next big cold snap, which is on the way.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about panfish, bluegills first. What's going on there?
So the bluegills, I was out yesterday and I was seeing a whole bunch of bluegills out roaming flats, anywhere from 8 to 15 feet, had some weeds, had some stumps or what have you nearby. So those fish are out there, they're cruising, getting them on little jigs, little spoons. So bite's been good out there.
What's your big secret you're going to give away today on catching bluegills?
Man, don't have a big secret for you today, but when you get the schools that come in, when you get a handful of fish on the screen, don't dilly-dally when you're taking fish off the screen, because a lot of times, if you take way too much time in between catching fish, that school that you're working will move off. And, a lot of times it'll take 5-10 minutes to get that school back in. So make hay when the school is down there.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, is I remind people, too, is that the bigger bluegills are the ones over 9 inches. Everybody's recommending you kind of put them back and keep the ones that are 7 to 8.5 or so.
Absolutely. Those are your prime spawning gills, your big nest protectors. So those fish that are over 9 inches, put them back. Let them go up and do their thing and spawn. That's how you keep a healthy bluegill population. And those 7 or 8 inch bluegills, they taste just as good.
Yeah, and we've mentioned this before on the show, but it's the bigger bluegills that are the males, and they actually dictate the whole size hierarchy of the lake by keeping all the smaller males off the nest in the spring. So once they're gone, you're just kind of making a bunch of little bluegills.
Yeah, you stunt the lake out, so it's important you put those big gills back.
Let's talk about crappie fishing now. What's going on there?
Crappie fishing's been good. We were fishing for them in the basins over the weekend. A lot of fish out roaming around, and, they don't sit still, so you can't either. Punch a lot of holes, chase them around. If you have to go grid the entire basin out and then let them settle back down, especially if you're running around with machines out there, have at her and just stay mobile.
Like I think they got the forward-facing sonar out there. We can just say, okay, there's a school out there 60 feet out. Let's go out, drill a hole, and catch them. But that don't always work very well. Sometimes, a lot of times they move away as soon as that auger goes through the hole.
Yep, absolutely. So it pays to go out, grid your basin out, and then start to chase them. Because a lot of times, as you're punching holes, even if you're trying to get on top of them, you're going to spook them. What's
your favorite baits for the crappies out there? I know you like the Mr. Crappie stuff.
Yeah, that's during the summertime, but when we get to the winter, I really like running jigs. Those lake effect jigs, they have so many awesome patterns and colors out there. They work really well, and you pair those with a panfish plastic, whether it be a chigger fry or a mustache worm or a pintail, you just can't go wrong fishing crappies.
You said lake effect jigs. That's something you got here in the store now?
Oh, absolutely. Every shape and size, too.
And how about lures for crappies, hard lures for crappies and bluegills? I'm hearing a lot about people talking about using not just jig and wrap type baits, but, slab type baits.
Yeah, so you got your Rapala, your slab wraps. You got a couple of different sizes. Rapala came out with a lookalike to Kender's K-Rip and T-Rip. It's called the Nano Rip. That's been doing really well this year. Obviously, you've got your Rip and Wraps, your ultralight styles. And then obviously you got your spoons as well. So a lot of different hard baits that you can try for crappies for those big fish in the schools.
Yeah, a lot of people use them for crappies, but they fail to try to use them for bluegills. And sometimes a spoon or something will catch more bluegills than just a little jig.
You'd be surprised. Absolutely.
Let's talk about pike fishing. That's something we got plenty of up here, and actually they encourage the harvest on some lakes, try to thin them out. Good table fare, and they're very cooperative in the winter.
Yeah, they really are. We were pike fishing Thursday, Friday this past week, and it seemed like all the pike were roaming those 8 to 15-foot flats. We did really well. A lot of flags. Seems like people on other lakes been getting them too. Running tip-ups mostly, so suckers and shiners, and yeah, it's been good fishing lately.
And a good little tip I tell people, too, is where you're catching a bunch of pike in that 20, 22, 23-inch range, and you don't quite have down the procedure to get the Y bones out very good. If you like pickled fish and you like fried fish, there's a fillet in the back of the fish behind the dorsal fin that there's no Y bones in. You can take that off, and you can take the other parts off. What you can't get the bones out of, you make pickled fish out of it.
That's perfect. Yeah, we got plenty of pike around here to practice filleting them, too.
What's been the go-to bait and stuff for the pike?
Pike, it's always a mix-up depending on where you are between shiners and suckers, but seems like the bigger the bait, the better lately.
Anything on dead bait you hearing yet?
Hearing a couple of guys with some rumblings of dead bait out there, but a lot of times that dead bait will start to shine as we get a little bit later into ice, and, the pike start nosing around the bottom looking for those dead fish.
Jared, I know down here at the shop, you guys got about everything that they could need for ice fishing, and you're actually starting to redo the shop and stuff, getting ready for spring already and some stuff.
Yep, absolutely. We're starting to see a whole bunch of our spring orders come through, so got to get to work and start setting it and get ready for summer. It's right around the corner.
A lot of new stuff for this year. There always seems to be.
Oh, absolutely. There's always new stuff.
Yeah, I know you guys down here are going to have a lot what you get in. And if you don't have it, if somebody wants it, you can usually get it for them, right?
We'll order it for you. Absolutely. We'll have it here for you.
Well, thank you, Jared.
Thanks, John.
Well, folks, we need to take a break right now and hear from some of the fine sponsors that make this show possible every week. When we come back, we'll be talking to a young lady musky angler, Megan Steinmetz. So stay tuned. We'll be back right after these messages. Hunters and anglers, Hayward Bait and Bottle is your one-stop sport and bottle shop in Hayward. They have a huge selection of ice fishing gear, including portable shelters, power augers, electronics, beaver dam tip-ups, ice rods, and just about anything you'll need for ice fishing. They also have archery supplies, bows, crossbows, muzzle loaders, ammo, and much more to help you enjoy the outdoors. While you're there, check out the bottle shop for a full selection of beer, wine, and liquor, too. Hayward Bait and Bottle is your one-stop sport and bottle shop. There's no time like the present to explore Hayward, Wisconsin, one of the Midwest's most popular vacation destinations. With crystal clear lakes for water sports and fishing, miles of trails for riding snowmobiles, ATVs, cross-country skiing, hiking, and mountain biking, this area is buzzing with activity year-round. Combined with charming local shops and a variety of Northwoods dining options, Hayward is certain to offer both adventure and relaxation for everyone. Plan your trip today and find everything you need on the Hayward Area Chamber of Commerce website. From events and attractions to local dining, shopping, and lodging, visit haywardareachamber.com and start your next adventure now.
Today's UTVs are built for year-round performance, comfort, and reliability. The Polaris Start the Year Off-Road Sales Event at Hayward Power Sports is the perfect time to take yours home. Claim a $1,500 rebate on a brand new 2026 Polaris Ranger XP 1000 Northstar, their top-of-the-line model with a fully enclosed cab with heat and AC. Plus, as the 2026 machines roll in, Hayward Power Sports is making insane deals on the remaining 2025 Polaris UTVs. Claim rebates up to $4,000 off or financing as low as 0% for 36 months on select models. Polaris Ranger is the perfect machine to attach a plow to and make snow removal a breeze. Meanwhile, Polaris General is built with Tasta Trail versatility, ready to get down to work or head off to play. Plus, Hayward Power Sports even has rebates up to $2,000 off the machine that started it all, the legendary tough Polaris Sportsman ATV. Let us team you up with the right Polaris off-road vehicle to suit your lifestyle and your pocketbook. Hayward Power Sports, just 10 minutes east of Hayward on Highway 77.
See dealer for complete program details. Always wear a helmet, never drink and ride.
Welcome back to another segment of this week's Wisconsin Northland Outdoors. And this part of the show is brought to you by the Hayward Lakes Visitor and Convention Bureau. For more information on lodging and vacationing here in the Hayward Lakes area, check out their website at haywardlakes.com. Well, folks, over the years, we've seen an increase in the number of anglers out there on many different waters. And one of the growing segments in fishing is women anglers, and especially musky fishing. On this week's show, I had a chance to talk to Megan Steinmetz, who is a very avid musky angler. Megan, good to have you on the radio show here.
Thanks for having me. I look forward to this fabulous interview.
I was told by Kyle Sorensen that, you caught a really nice muskie, a big one, this last year here. But Kyle said, they should get her on the radio show because she's absolutely musky crazy. And you really enjoy going after muskies, I found out.
I really do. It's definitely my biggest passion and hobby. It almost gets in the way of work. Just kidding.
You're going to be fishing the PMTT, even the Professional Muskie Tournament Trail.
I am with my good friend Amanda, who owns Deerfoot Resort. So I look forward to that. It's the first year doing it. I know she's done it before in the past, but I can't wait to explore some new waters and also give her our best effort.
There's always been some women out there that fish muskies. There was a husband and wife team here that she won the Muskies Inc. thing. I think it was Margaret Steiner years ago. But there's always been people out there muskie fishing, and a lot of women out there. And I've guided women over the years that were avid muskie fishermen. How did you get into it? What drew you into muskie fishing?
Well, besides a mental illness, my grandfather, when I remember growing up, he got into muskies in the early 70s. And, I think like anybody who's an avid angler, when you catch one and that passion strikes, it's game over, and it became almost an obsession. Well, I remember when I was a young girl, he would have me, before I could even go out in the water with him to musky fish, he'd put some tape on some lures, and I had to get my casting down first before I could even go on the boat. So then he'd have me sit in the cul-de-sac, and he'd point somewhere, and I'd have to go cast the rod and show that I could do it, and over and over and over again. And I was like, just get me on the water. And then, throughout the years, then basically spent an excessive amount of time wondering why I'm fishing for this fish that I feel like doesn't exist. I was happy with anything that I would catch that day, whether it was a bass or a northern pike. He's like, nope, it's not a muskie. It's not a muskie. Eventually got a muskie, and I'll never forget that feeling. And it's still that same feeling to this day. Every fish, it's just an adrenaline rush and excitement. And it's being out in the water. I've now taken it as basically being therapeutic too. I get a lot of creative thinking done for my real estate career. So,
it is a mind thing. You're out there against a very low density fish compared to other fish as far as the population density. And, and on top of that, they can be an obstinate fish. Sometimes they don't want to cooperate, but, it'd be one of the hardest fish to catch, but yet they can be the easiest fish to catch too, because it all comes down to, number one, going where there are fish. If you're not casting or fishing a lake where there are fish, plenty of fish.
Mistake number one.
Yeah.
Mistake number one.
Yeah, you bet. You got to be where the fish are. And if you're after big fish, you want to be where there's big fish.
Exactly.
And, we've got lakes that produce bigger fish, and we've got lakes that produce numbers, although we're starting to see the numbers lakes disappearing on us.
We are. And I've actually been trying to work on, really understanding that and hopefully coming together with a few folks and doing some advocating to help increase the population, because, they're such a special species that we need to do everything we can to make sure that they're thriving.
I think there's a lot of reasons for that. But like I mentioned earlier, we were talking is that there's way more people out there fishing now for muskies than there ever were when I started. And they've got way better equipment, more knowledge. I mean, people like myself and Booker and Mena and everybody else has got going back to old guides and stuff. We've all taught people how to catch muskies over the years. And, it's gotten to be where there's more people out there. And then you throw in the social media, it's not a good mix with the overhandle of fish.
Exactly. And also, and I can speak for Wisconsin, just the stocking efforts have gone down quite a bit, specifically for muskies, just because there's not a whole lot of places that raise them. And so, I think what people don't realize is that, we can pool together and kind of combat this and help increase it with the proper stocking and studying of the fisheries and, advocating for that. Because I think that, the anglers are there. It's such a fun sport, and it impacts property values. It also impacts, tourism for all these local businesses. So it's really critical that we get ahead on this, because I know we're always 6 to 10 years behind because they take so long to grow and thrive. And their natural reproduction rate is just not what people would think it would be, so we need to help encourage that more.
Yeah, I see nowadays there's a faction of people out there that want to blame things like this forward-facing sonar or live scope stuff. And it comes into play on some lakes for open water fish and stuff but there's just all the different things, the tackle, the gear, the knowledge, more fish are being caught. And I don't care who you are, there's a percentage of fish that are caught and released that don't survive getting caught and released. Mm-hmm. So just because of that, the more fish to get caught, the more fish that don't make it and survive. So we need to stock more fish.
Absolutely, we do. And, we don't really have a whole lot of options when it comes to raising muskies and, from the fisheries and where the hatcheries, I guess, where they are done, because the retort is that they're such an expensive fish to raise. However, as muskie anglers, I think that we all know that the money can be there, right? Yep. We just need to raise the funds and figure out what that dollar amount is in order to properly stock them, and then figure out the resources, because there are options and it's getting ahead of that. So stay tuned on that. I'm working on that angle to help solve the problem so that we can continue having this amazing sport in the good old state of Wisconsin.
Oh, you're talking about the money, and it's insane the amount of money we can spend on muskies with lures that cost, a cheap lure is $20-some. And in rod and reels, you can go, up, the sky's the limit there.
Yeah, now taking sponsorships, anybody out there, because it is so dang expensive, but it's a sick addiction. And, I like to think of it as a healthy hobby, but I'm not, financially, I'm it might not be, but, I just think well, hopefully this is an asset and not a depreciating one.
Well, folks, we need to take yet another break and hear from even more of the fine sponsors that make this show possible every week. And when we come back, we'll have a second part of that talk we had with Megan Steinmetz. So stay tuned. We'll be back right after these messages. Hey folks, come on over to Hayward Ace Hardware and check out the area's largest selection of firearms, ammo, and accessories. We carry top brands like Browning and Sig Sauer, and we have a great selection of the newest and hard-to-find models. We've got a large selection of ammo with more coming in daily. If you need a scope, we carry great brands like Leupold, Hawk, and EOTech, and we'll even mount it and bore-sight it for you too. We even sell suppressors and silencers. And don't forget to check out our Guns of the Week. Huge discounts on a variety of pistols, rifles, and shotguns that change every week. So stop on in to Hayward Ace Hardware, your firearms superstore. Hayward Ace Hardware, Highway 63 North in Hayward, or give us a call at 715-634-8700.
Care for the animals with help from Hayward Feed and Seed. They offer deer corn, mineral blacks, and their famous Big Buck blend. They can also satisfy the hunger of the other animals in your life with a massive variety of dog and cat foods, along with other pet foods and large animal feeds. Plus, they have an awesome assortment of cat and dog toys, along with heated water bowls and plenty of warm, cozy bedding for all the animals in your life. Open at 8 a.m. Monday through Saturday. See the experts at Hayward Feed and Seed. Hayward Animal Hospital is a full-service medical and surgical hospital featuring on-site laboratory, digital and dental x-ray, in-house pharmacy, and online store. Dr. Ostrander has 40 years of experience dealing with illnesses, injuries, surgery, and dentistry. Hayward Animal Hospital offers urgent care appointments and emergency surgery daily. Please call early in the day for these appointments. They open at 8 a.m. Hayward Animal Hospital is located 1 mile east of Hayward on Highway B. Call 715-634-8971.
Hey folks, the Log Cabin Store in Northwoods Beach on Highway K between the Big Lakes has groceries, ice, beer, liquor, and pop, and now has all new tackle and bait supplies. All current antiques and household items are now on sale, and all must go to make room for the sport shop. That's at the Log Cabin Store in Northwoods Beach between the Big Lakes. Welcome back to the last segment of this week's Wisconsin Northland Outdoors. And folks, we're going to jump right back into the second part of that talk we had with Megan on musky fishing. You know, for other young women out there who are thinking about getting into that, and they don't have a husband to take them out there, or a boyfriend that gets them into it, what would you recommend them to do as far as getting into musky fishing?
Well, actually, my PMTT partner, Amanda, so she hosts this great Ladies of Musky school at Deerfoot each October, and it's just a great time. And you can be an avid angler or just have never casted a rod before, and there's different breakout sessions and stuff to make you get your feet wet in it and make yourself feel comfortable, but also just asking questions and who you can contact. Like, you can always contact myself and I can put you in the right direction. I mean, it's always better to fish with somebody, especially starting out, and understanding how to properly handle the fish, how to, because it can be deflating if you're spending hours out there and not seeing any results and don't know if you're doing the right thing. So I think that it's one of those sports where there's no real cookie cutter way to fish, right? Everybody has their own different patterns, and don't be intimidated. It's getting out there, because everybody, at the very least, you can help net the fish. But just having that experience and time on the water and understanding the basics of it. And then, once you catch your first fish, it becomes the adrenaline rush. And then from there, you're really going to, be able to expand on how you properly fish and what lakes to focus on. And also starting off with, I know Kyle had told me YouTube was a great resource, and just like, watching that. If you got the time to do that, view from the screen and really, there's a lot of good educational videos out there, but it's an exhilarating experience that I really feel everybody deserves to have.
When you get into it, you one thing you'll learn real quick is that you want to pay attention to a lot of little details, because you may only get one shot at a fish during the day. You want to make that one count. So make sure you try to do as much stuff as you can, right? Learn up on that stuff.
Well, and I think as anglers, there's some days where you're like, you see one and it just darts off after it, sees the boat or whatever. And some musky fishermen might consider that a dang good day.
It's getting harder too. And I think the fish are getting smart because of the pressure on them.
Oh, absolutely. They're very smart. And that's, I think, a big factor in how they get to be the size that they are. So we need to help them on the back end and support them and make sure that they're in thriving lakes and doing our due diligence to continue that. I know Minnesota has really done a good job with their efforts as far as proper stocking and stuff, and it'd be nice to recreate that here in the good old state of Wisconsin.
And we mentioned that, expensive gears and stuff, but tackle and equipment, but you can actually get into it for pretty reasonable too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's very affordable starting out. And, the stuff that people, there's always different lures coming out and things, but there's some basic lures that are just the good old trusty recipes that are affordable and cheap to start off with that, my grandpa would probably argue and say that he wouldn't use anything else.
It comes down to learning where to look for the fish and learning how to work your baits and how to present it and try to do everything you can. And the last thing you want to rely on is the magic lure or something.
Oh, absolutely. And timing of things, like when are you going to throw top water? And, is it calm? Should you what type of top water should you throw? Or is it bucktail? Things like that. But there's standard baits, a wide variety of bait selection that can be go-to, as and they're timeless.
I've always said this, that the lure is not the most important thing, is because if you get know where the fish are and you put a lure on top of the fish, it don't matter if it's a stick with hooks on it, he's probably going to take a whack at it.
Oh, right. Or put some treble hooks on a crock.
Well, let's talk about the big fish that you caught this last year. I know you were out fishing with Kyle, but actually it was a spot you picked out.
It was. Yeah. I mean, it was just one of those days, and the fish didn't seem to be that hungry. I think it was like they had their morning snack and then they're like trying to take a nap for the day. But we decided to try this other spot. And Kyle, he had the general idea of where to go. And we were sucker fishing, still couldn't get anything. And he tried a different tactic, which I don't think he'll allow me to release. But then hook, line, and sinker. And it was a fight, and everything that could possibly go wrong when trying to get this fish in the boat did. I mean, full blown panic mode. I had literally set the hook with, the bail open. So, I had to thumb it, and then I was like, what am I doing? It was just out of body. I mean, if I could get this thing in the boat, anybody could at this point. And I was reeling, and he's like, reel. I'm like, I'm trying. And next thing you know, my coat is wrapped up in the reel. And I'm like, my coat is wrapped up. I can't reel any further. He's like, what are you talking about? And he looks back and goes, oh my gosh. And he's like trying to fumble getting my coat ripped out. And it was just a total mess. And then by the time I got her up in there, it was just, I almost puked because I was just exhausted. I mean, it was such a big, fat, healthy fish that hopefully I made some good eye contact with so that she knows that she is safely released. And then she was 48, but she was the fat one, 21-inch girth. And she was healthy. Yeah.
A very interesting story, and it just shows you what can go on because, the adrenaline starts to run and, you got to try to stay calm, but that don't work.
Not at all. I mean, not at all. It's just an absolute, and that's why you keep going. And that's like the adrenaline rush that is a sick addiction because you just want more and more and bigger and bigger. And I think like a lot of people starting out too, once you get your first muskie, I'd say go to a lake where it's great numbers, but then you get one and then you get a bigger one and then you want bigger. And then that's where your bank account just starts to go downhill after that.
Well, it's been real interesting talking to you here, Megan, and I want to thank you for taking the time with our listeners here and good luck with the tournaments this year.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the time. And yeah. And if anybody's looking for some good real estate on musky waters, give me a call. I'm happy to assist with that.
Well, thank you a lot.
Thank you.
Well, folks, we're about out of time for this week's show. I'd like to remind everyone out there that if you miss a show, you can always go to our website at wnoradio.com, and from there you can link through to our podcast. You can also find the show on Spotify and all major podcast channels. And also, if you're looking for information on vacationing and lodging here in the Hayward Lakes area, check out the Hayward Lakes Visitor and Convention Bureau website at haywardlakes.com or the Hayward Area Chamber site at haywardareachamber.com. And lastly, if you'd like more information on hiring a fishing guide when you're up here in the Hayward area, check out our website at wnoradio.com. We've got links to just about all the different guides and a lot of information in there on guides. We're We're out of time for this week's show, and we'll be back again next week with another interesting show for you. Thanks for listening.
Way up in the Northland where the recreation's great. So sit back, relax, kick off your shoes, sink in your easy chair. Come on along, listen with me, I'm gonna take you there to our Wisconsin Outdoors, our Wisconsin Outdoors.
This program has been produced and hosted entirely by Wisconsin Northland Outdoor Communications.